Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Gone are the days of wrestling with our favorite LJN wrestling figures, trying to convince them to stand up. What's a guy to do? I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get on Etsy and look up 4 Left 3D Creations and get yourself these amazing custom LJN figure stands. There is a custom stand available for every single one of your LJN wrestling superstar figures. Make your display shine by grabbing these custom LJN stands from 4 Left 3D Creations today.
Hello everybody, Jason of New Age Revolution Cave on vacation eve. That's right, I thought we were leaving tomorrow. We're not leaving tomorrow. So there will be one more video this week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up next week with videos. Yesterday I put up a post that said I was just going to go away for now and I'll come back after the vacation, but I wanted to make a video. I didn't want to leave, but I don't think I can do all week. I mean, tomorrow we got a lot of stuff to do and then to prepare, and then we go. So I probably won't have anything up for you unless I just bang out a whole bunch of LJN retrospectives. We'll see. Maybe 3-4 videos. I don't know. We'll see. But upon my return, we will go right back to the dailies, and the dailies will ride it out. I love the dailies, unless something happens, I get sick or something, but I love the dailies. I love what it's doing to the channel. It's bringing more eyes onto the channel, more subscribers, and it's great. It's great. So, all right, LJN Revisited. Now, we've probably gotten off the program lineup. Don't worry. We'll return to that, like I said. Everything's all jumbled right now. It's okay. It's okay. No big whoop. Let's take a look at wherever we are. I don't know. We did Captain Lou yesterday, last week. Are we up to Series 3? Is that where we are? All right, let's do Series 3. Managers. We're still talking about managers, folks. And, of course, I can't talk about the manager without talking about the only way to display the manager, and that is through these custom LJN stands from my friends at 4 Left 3D Creations. That's right. You get on Etsy. You're familiar with it. You get on Etsy. You go to 4 Left 3D Creations. You get yourself a custom LJN stand for any and all of your LJN figures. Maybe down the road, I'm going to talk to our friend at 4 Left. Maybe we can work out a deal with 4 Left and XOX so that you can get some custom LJN stands for your XOX custom LJNs as well. I don't know. Bobby the Brain Heenen is up next on LJN's retrospective, a closer look at the LJN Wrestling Superstars collection. Bobby Heenen. The first time we started getting managers in the line was Series 3, and here he is. Could they have done more with Bobby Heenen? Oh, probably. You know, they could have. There could have been some out. I would have liked to have seen. I don't know. But then I look at him and I'm like, no, that's Bobby Heenen. But whoever said that navy blue and black goes together, isn't that kind of a no-no? Isn't that a fashion faux pas? I don't know. Not a fashionista. But here he is, Bobby Heenen. Yes, I would have maybe liked to see a different outfit, but I think this is fine. And when you look at it, it's the only Bobby Heenen you could ever imagine. I don't really remember a whole. I know that I had managers accompany the wrestlers to the ring. I know I did, but I don't really remember doing it that much, other than with Freddie Blassie, because he would, like the cane would always get used in matches with Sheik and Volkov versus whoever. But I don't remember really, you know, I would bring managers to the ring. So I'm saying I did play with them. I just don't remember. But I know that I would bring managers to the ring and I'd stand them at ringside, and I wouldn't interact with them that much. You know, I wouldn't control the manager outside the ring. I wouldn't have him walking just like this. I wouldn't have him walking up and down like this. Right? I would just leave them there unless in the predetermined finish, they were going to interfere. If not, they just stood there. And then oftentimes in later play, I would just leave him behind. He doesn't need to come out, right? It's like a house show. You know, you don't need the manager at ringside. But I did occasionally have the wrestlers get involved in the action. But when I was a lot younger, you know, 30-ish, I would do some silly things like manager battle royals and things like that. But other than that, the managers don't get a lot of play. They don't get a lot of love. They just kind of are part of the collection. Absolutely needed, absolutely necessary, must have them, but not played with a lot. Captain Lou, on the other hand, subbed as a wrestler, the Executioner, fine. Freddie Blassie was often used. We'll get to him when we talk about him. But Bobby the Brain Heenan, folks, probably, well, hands down, the greatest manager in the history of wrestling, my opinion, and many others' opinion. It's a popular opinion, as they say. In my opinion, the greatest talker in the history of wrestling, the greatest interview in the history of wrestling, the greatest promo, if you will, in the history of wrestling. In my opinion, one of the top three, if not the greatest, can I say character? Because then you got guys like Hogan as a character, Flair as a character. And I'm not talking Stone Cold and guys like that, but is it Hogan, Flair, and Heenan as the top three greatest characters in wrestling history? Is it, folks? I mean, don't worry about Hogan the wrestler. I'm not worried about that. Character, right? All the stuff that Hogan did for wrestling was his character, was the Hulkamania character. Flair, several channels down the dial, everything that he did, he was the opposite of Hogan. He was the antagonist to Hogan, right? Hogan, Flair, Bobby Heenan, the three greatest characters in wrestling history. I don't know. What say you? Who are we going to include in that? Who are we going to include? It's a tough one. Never had the pleasure of meeting Bobby Heenan. Sad, sad way he ended. Heartbreaking. Probably one of the wrestlers that I grieve the most when I go back and look at, some early interviews. There's a really sad interview with him right before he got diagnosed with whatever cancer he had, throat, jaw, I forget. But he was talking funny, and he said that he had TMJ, which is just, a kind of like a tendon issue in your jaw clicking and stays open or closed. They were looking at that, and probably the whole time he had a cancer growing inside of him, and that's sad. I don't even like to look at final pictures of Bobby Heenan. I mean, he had a ton of jaw and neck surgeries, and he couldn't talk anymore. But if you go and you watch him in that state, if you go and you watch him at some of the appearances that he did, he's still Bobby Heenan. He's still goofing around. And it's just, such an unfair. But I don't know. He seemed happy, right? Who am I to say? Bobby, who knows? Anyway, it's hard to watch Bobby Heenan's last few months alive. But greatest character, I'm telling you, top three greatest characters of all time in wrestling. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. Could be wrong. Whatever. Whoop-de-doo. Bobby Heenan. Let's take a closer look at Bobby Heenan and Bobby Heenan. What alternate universe is it?
All right, before we take a look at Bobby Heenan, don't forget, head over to Etsy's 4 Left 3D Creations. Get yourself a custom Bobby the Brain Heenan LJN stand. Your figures will stand like never before. Your shelves will look like they have never looked before. Get your custom stands, 4 Left 3D Creations on Etsy. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby the Brain, the Weasel, if you will, Heenan. A great LJN figure. I think that face is fantastic. I think that is a Bobby Heenan face. Perfect choice with both hands. The double thumbs up. I love that. We got the big lapel.
We got the BH inscription on his sweater. I mean, it is a sweater. I think that's good. I like it. Black pants, no problem. And the back is pretty much the same. Now, as I said, we're going to take a look at Bobby Heenen and Bobby Heenen. I don't want you to think I'm crazy or anything, but here comes the evil twin, Bobby Heenen. That's right, folks. We have a variant, an actual variant. First of all, I'll start with the hair. I don't care if the hair is a variant or not. I don't buy that. I don't think that LJN said, hey, let's do darker blonde and let's do lighter blonde and let's just drive people nuts. You know what this is, folks? We ran out of some paint. Hey, Jimmy, go to the store and get us some paint. Okay, boss. And he comes back with this. That's it. That's all it is. But that is not an error, folks. That is Bobby Heenen with what we have become, what's become known in the collector's universe as scrolls. So this is Bobby Heenen with scrolls. This is Bobby Heenen without scrolls. Sure, no idea why. I guess we could ask, the LJN fan forums on Facebook. Why? Was there ever a reason why we got figures with and figures without? I don't know. And I don't care. But I did collect them both because they are different enough. They're different enough variants for me, and therefore I wanted both. I don't care about the hair. If it was just no scrolls and different color hair, I would not bother collecting. I do not care about hair variants. But there you go, folks. There is Bobby the Brain Heenen, manager, Series 3. Great figure, great guy, great character, great everything. Bobby Heenen. We will be back when I come back, and we'll be taking a look at yet another. Oh, wait, we won't be taking a look at him yet. We'll be taking a look at a tag team. Yep, we'll have a tag team coming up. Our first tag team, our first official tag team in the next video. Good night now.